Hello there, my name is Anna Lundberg. I'm the founder of One Step Outside, author of Leaving the Corporate 9 to 5 and host of the Reimagining Success podcast. And we've been talking about leaving that 9 to 5, the corporate 9 to 5 as I call it, and the reasons why you might want to do it, why you might not end up doing it even though you want to, and in particular the last couple of weeks, the fear that might be holding you back. So the fear of failure, the fear of starting from scratch, the fear that the grass might not be as green as you thought it was, and the fear that you'd have to work even harder than ever before. Now this week I wanted to pose a perhaps provocative question, which is why bother? Why address all these fears in the first place? Why even make all this effort to step out of your comfort zone, do all this scary stuff, and effectively put all your life into turmoil, professional, personal, it'll affect your family, you're going to change everything, challenge your whole identity and make massive changes. So why even bother? Now, my brand One Step Outside actually comes from the quote, which I've now got probably back to front on the video here on the wall behind me. Everything you've ever wanted is one step outside your comfort zone. And for me, there are a couple of elements of this that are so important. The first is the idea of stepping out of your comfort zone. Your comfort zone is, well, comfortable. It's an area where you know exactly how things work, you've learnt the rules and frameworks, you're good at your job, you're respected, you've got a good salary, you're living in a particular kind of house and certain living arrangements and so on, and it's pretty comfortable, you enjoy it, you're fine. So why on earth rip that apart and take the step out? Now, when you step out of your comfort zone, you get into the growth zone, and I always say scary tends to come with exciting because you're challenging yourself, you're learning new things, you're growing, and it's incredible really, but yes, it is a bit scary. So the second part of that quote that I love is the one step. You don't have to take a massive leap. You don't have to, as I did, leave your job without really having a plan and so on. I left, when I left in 2013, I was single. I had a very cheap flat that I was renting. I didn't have a mortgage, a car, and so on. So it was very easy for me. I didn't have a dog and an apartment that I needed to pack up with lots of beautiful items. I had cheap IKEA furniture and so on. So very easy for me with no dependents, no obligations, and again, to be very honest, a lot of savings from my well-paid corporate job. Very easy for me then to, although albeit very scary still, to quit that job entirely cold turkey. But the one step means you don't have to rip everything apart and start from scratch right away, and you really can take those little steps out of your comfort zone. So this week I want to encourage you to think about, are you in that comfort zone? Have you been getting a little bit too comfortable? Maybe within your role, you're not quite challenging yourself. It's all getting a bit too familiar, and both personally and professionally, you might have been settling and resting a little bit on your laurels. So whether you want to quit your job or not, this is a really interesting exercise to do. Have a look at your life. Have a look at whether you really are challenging yourself, whether you really are comfortable, because let's face it, sometimes that comfort could be misleading and it's really uncomfortable. And there's a point at which the discomfort of staying where you are actually exceeds the fear of leaving. So maybe you're getting to that point as well. But have a think about whether you're in that comfort zone and what could you do? What's one step that you could take already this week or maybe next week that would get you out of that comfort zone? Signing up to a course, sending an email to someone, going on a trip, whatever it is, something relatively small, just enough to scare you, but not to throw you into that panic zone outside that's too far out of your comfort zone. So everything you ever wanted is one step outside your comfort zone. We'll continue to explore that in the coming weeks. But again, the question this week, why even bother getting out of your comfort zone? Have a think about what that comfort zone looks like for you, what it's bringing you, and what it could mean to step out of that zone and finally take action towards those so-called impossible dreams that you've maybe got on that shelf over there that have been gathering dust and you haven't been doing anything about. Thanks so much for watching, and as ever, I'd love to invite you to the Facebook group. The One Step Outside Facebook group is a great place to meet like-minded people. I do free training sessions in there. We share all the latest articles and resources, and again, most importantly, you'll meet lots of people working on similar things as you. So you can search One Step Outside on Facebook, or you can go to onestepoutside.com/community, onestepoutside.com/community. Look out for the blog post later this week as well as the podcast, and if you have any questions or comments, do comment below or send me a direct message. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye for now.